Alrighty, let's go. Welcome back into the Skooshi Sport podcast, guys. Bringing you your NBA weekly recap. Just essentially recapping the last week of results, how the standings are looking heading into the final quarter, final third of the regular season games here. So kind of in that, I guess, in that little bit of an NBA slump at the moment. We've had like the All-Star break, and now you're kind of just wanting the playoffs, I guess, to start. And I guess the way that the playoffs are looking, or the standings are looking so far this season, kind of looks like a lot of the playing teams are already sort of decided, ready to go in both conferences, which it's a bit meh. But you just got to continue on. You just got to keep watching. We've still got a tiny bit of an MVP race, a little bit, but it's getting very interesting, I guess, at the top of the conferences. Who's going to finish like the top 4 seeds, especially in between like 2nd seed and 7th seed. But I'm here to just bring you a little weekly recap. Who are the winners and the losers from the last week or so? Who is in form and who is just dead set way out of form at the moment here? So NBA weekly recap. So in the East at the moment, we have 7 losses separating the Boston Celtics from the Magic in the East. So at the moment, the Boston Celtics, they are currently 2nd in the East, and we've got Orlando in 6th at the moment. So pretty tight. And if you look at it honestly from the Knicks all the way to the Magic, I'll actually just bring up my screen for you here. If you actually look at it from like the Knicks to the Magic, there's actually only 3 losses separating 3rd from 6th, 4 losses from 3rd to 7th. So any one of these teams catch fire, whether it's the Cavs, whether it's Raptors, they could potentially be finishing 3rd and honestly start and get a home playoff series, which is very, very vital. Now, what I did want to mention is, before speaking about the East, actually, I'll do it when we get to the standings. In the West, this is very tight as well. We have 3 losses separating the Wolves from the Suns in the West. So the Wolves are 3rd, 24 losses, and then you go down all the way down to the Suns, who are 7th at 27 losses there. So very, very tight in between 3rd and 7th. You got the Rockets, Lakers, Nuggets there. Looking very, very tight when we come to looking at the NBA standings at the moment there. Our team of the week when it comes to NBA, I'll do these every week for you guys here. Team of the week, and we'll also have a loser of the week here. The team of the week, mate, I think it's only one team at the moment. It's going to be the Atlanta Hawks. 3-0 in the last week. They're on 6-game win streak at the moment. They're playing out of their skin. You'll see now they've actually moved up quite a bit in the standings. Well, I said a little bit. 7-3 in the last 10, and now 1 game behind the Sixers, 2.5 games behind the Heat, 2.5 games behind the Magic. They have potential. They keep this going. They have potential of potentially getting into that 6th spot there and knocking the Magic out. Could even be the Raptors. What have we got? 4 games going. They've got 18 games left to go in the regular season into the final quarter. There is a high potential that the Hawks, it looks like they're going to make that play in. The 5.5 games ahead of the Bucks now. There is a big potential now of the Atlanta Hawks pushing up again above the Sixers, which would get them a home playing game. And even potentially getting into that 6th spot, which would be very crucial. It secures them, don't have to play the play-in. They'd end up playing 3rd in the conference, which is probably going to be the Cavs or the Knicks at this stage. But, mate, Atlanta Hawks are absolutely rolling at the moment. My team of the week. Lose of the week, mate. I looked at the Pistons, who have lost 4 in a row. Just pretty disappointing, but, mate, it was hard to go past the Indiana Pacers. 0-4 in the last week. 9 losses in a row. Now, we've had teams go 9 losses in a row, 10 losses, 8 losses. Pistons lost 4 in a row. Pacers lost 9 in a row by an average of 20 points per fucking game. Do you know how bad you have to be to lose 9 games in a row at an average of 20 points per game? I'll bring up their schedule for you here. My God, it is just ludicrous. You'll see here. Played Washington. The last win they had was against Brooklyn. They actually, it's funny that they beat the Knicks in overtime, like a game before that. Beat Brooklyn, then they lose against Washington by 7. Then Washington again by 13. Play Dallas, only lose by 4. Play 76ers, lose by 21. Play Charlotte, lose by 24. Play Memphis, lose by 19. Play Clippers, lose by 23. Play Lakers, lose by 11. Play Portland, lose by 20. It's just absurdly bad. The last 6 games is just really, really, really bad. It must be an average of it's just absolutely shocking by the Pacers. It is disgusting behavior that they are doing this. And yeah, they easily deserve to be my losers of the weeks for sure. Have a look at their championship odds while we've got it on that screen. The Thunder still being favorites all freaking year long. I'd be shocked if they don't make the finals. Sitting at 240, they've been anywhere around $1.90 to $2.40 all season. Boston Celtics now 650, helps with Jayson Tatum now back. That was the announcement I was going to make when it came to the East standings. Jayson Tatum has seriously moved the needle for Boston, now sitting second in the East. Denver at $7. We've got the Spurs at $9. Cavs at $12. Pistons $16. The Knicks 23. The Rockets at 29. The Pistons at 16, despite leading the East, is absurd odds. Obviously, not expecting them to even probably potentially make it past the second round, especially when you got Cavs and Celtics at better odds. They're probably predicting the bookies that the Celtics and the Cavs will be in the East Conference Finals in that one there. Don't really know what to think of that one. I don't think the Knicks... Oh, maybe the Knicks... You just never know with the Knicks. They can go and they beat Boston like they did last year, but then they go and choke away a game in game 1 of the East Finals last year against the Pacers and just cost them the series. But it's just wild to think the Pacers, going back to the loser of the week, how they made the finals last year. They got to Game 7. Game 7. Leading in the series. 1-0, I think, as well. And now they are bottom of the East. They're literally bottom of the East, guys. Look at this. Bottom of the East. 15-49. And I get Halliburton's been out all year, right? But, mate... Does one guy really make a difference between going from finals all the way down to last in the Eastern Conference, second last in the whole whole league? It's just absurd to think about, right? So they are my loser of the week. I'm just going to read out the MVP odds because it was pretty tight, I felt like, most of the year. But now SGA, we've got $1.12. Wembanyama at $17 now. Kate Cunningham, 21s. A few weeks ago, Cunningham got down to like $5. He was absolutely on fire. Jokic 21s, Jaylen Brown 76, and then there's a couple of guys like Luka 101 now, which is crazy. Obviously, he's been injured a bit and not playing too well. But let's have a look at the standings here. I'll just go back to my screen. Doing the East Conference, so Detroit, despite losing 4 in a row, still sitting 2.5 games ahead of Boston at the moment. They did actually have the best record in the league about a couple weeks ago over OKC, but now losing 4 in a row. OKC have won 6 in a row now. It doesn't really help their case. Boston in second. I think they'll probably remain in second. They were Tatum back. They're looking very solid. Tatum looks healthy too. They would no way have brought him back if he wasn't anywhere near 100%. Knicks 5.5 games behind there, or a few games behind Boston. It gets really tight there in the middle. You got Cavs and Knicks essentially on the same record. Raptors and the Magic essentially on the same record there with the Heat as well. Very unusual now. It's kind of pissing me off. The Chicago Bulls are so bad that they're not in a play-in spot because it's usually the Bulls, Hawks, and Heat. The 3 teams that are in there out of the 4. Sixers have been darn disappointing. They're so inconsistent. 4 and 6, they have the only negative differential out of the top 10 teams. They just... I think they got absolutely waxed against the Spurs the other day by 30 plus, which is just what is going on? I just don't get it. I spoke about the Hawks. They're in a 6-game win streak, 7-3 in the last 10. Charlotte was on a 9-game win streak. They're on fire. They now lost 2 in a row. I'm pretty confident in saying that these top 10 teams will be making the playoffs, all the play-ins, right? I don't think the Bucks can chase. The Bulls are awful. And then these bottom 3 teams are just worthless. They are worthless. Washington's lost 8 in a row. Brooklyn won 2 in a row after losing 10 in a row. These bottom 3 teams are absurdly bad. Really, really bad. Even Chicago's shocking. 2 and 8 in their last 10. They lost 9 in a row or something like that. So these bottom 4 teams are really, really bad. Interested to see when Giannis potentially gets shut down for Milwaukee. It's got to be somewhat soon, I thought. they're no chance of making the play-in, in my opinion. Crossing over to the Western Conference, OKC is back to top of the West. I think they've always been top. 6 wins in a row, 9-1 in that last 10. San Antonio only 3 games behind us, so still a potential of finishing first in the West, 9-1 in the last 10 as well. The Wolves been playing really well, 8-2 in the last 10. The Wolves really frustrate me because they can be a team that can absolutely light it up with Anthony Edwards and beat anyone. Then they'll go lose to like the Grizzlies like the day after, and you're like, what the hell happened there? Just no idea. Rockets essentially in the same record. Lakers, between the Wolves and the Nuggets is only 1.5 games. It's very, very tight. Nuggets had a very good game against OKC today or yesterday when you're listening to this. SGA hitting the game winner there. Lakers aren't going too bad. Just worry about their chemistry with Luka, LeBron. I think Austin Reeves is still to come back as well. Phoenix are here and there. They show good signs and then they show bad signs. 5-5 in the last 10. Mate, the LA Clippers, 8th now in the conference. They were literally second last after 20 games in the league. They were so bad. Now they've really clicked into gear. Got it back to a 500 record, which is such a credit to them. Kawhi's been on fire. Push Golden State down to 9th. But again, you look at this. Grizzlies, who are 11th, are 7 games behind Portland in 10th. These top 10 teams in both conferences have already been decided, in my opinion. There's just no way Grizzlies are good enough to catch up to Portland in this situation. Dallas are crap. New Orleans, crap. Utah, crap. Sacramento, crap. You look at these records. 2-8 in the last 10. Sacramento, 3-7 in the last 10. Utah actually did beat Golden State today. To their credit, Golden State are so banged up. They have one of the worst starting fives I've ever seen from Golden State in the last 15 years, I reckon. It is absurdly bad. But yeah, that's essentially how the standings are looking. Very tight in the sort of middle there when it comes to the top 10 teams of both conferences. I'd probably be expecting Pistons and OKC to continue on at the top there. Pistons will get out that rut very, very soon. They're just going through a little bit of a rough patch, but once they get up to around playoffs, I think they'll be okay. Very intrigued to see how Boston continues now. They've won 2 in a row, 8-2 in the last 10. I think Jayson Tatum's played, he's played 2 games now. I think they're 2-0 since he's been back. Very, very key. Obviously doing his Achilles against the Knicks in the playoffs last year. So he's been out all season. Now he's come back with about 20 games to go in the regular season, which is huge for Boston. But they were doing so bloody well without him anyway. But that will be me, guys. What do you think? What do you think of the NBA standings at the moment? What do you think of the NBA? Who's your team? Is there someone potentially who's going to come in and make the plans that I think they're not? Who is your playoff smoky? Let me know down in the comments. Tweet me on all my socials, that sort of thing. It's all down there in the comments. But that's the NBA weekly recap, guys. I'll see you next week for another recap. And cheers.